Okay, so now it's building the tracks on its own. And it just did that. As you see, I didn't touch anything. Holy crap, it is rolling. AI can't mix. And I spent the last 20 years, 25 plus years, mixing records. And every AI tool on the market right now is quietly making you worse. You just don't know it because you haven't compared them yet. They don't listen, and all they do is pattern match. So what I did for you is I built an AI that actually listens and understands. Not just pattern match, not just a general recommendation, but something that understands you and understands your mix in the moment and understands how you mix. And not only that, taste. That's right. AI with taste. Yeah, right. So I've built something called MIXSTEIN. Now, most AIs learn from data. MIXSTEIN learns from decisions. 20 years of mine. I've trained it to. I know this sounds crazy and it almost sounds too good to be true. If you think this is marketing, check it out. So right now I got this mix pulled up. It's a boom-bap mix. And it's just like almost like a 90s vibe, right? So I'm gonna play it really quick, let you guys get a feel for it, right? This is what it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell MIXSTEIN that this mix is kind of dry and I want like a 90s boom bap vintage mix. And what I mean by that is like not even just the mix, just the spacing with reverb and maybe some chorus to actually fill in those slots. And what am I talking about? So listen how clean that sounds. There's space in between the other sounds. I want to fill that up. I want to fill that up, right? I want to thicken that up. So let's do it. So I'm going to pull up MIXSTEIN. So right now I'm running MIXSTEIN with Claude, and we can get into all the technicalities in another video. I just want to show you guys this. So right now I'm going to tell it, I want a 90s dimension recipe or something like that, right? So let's just say it. Hey, MIXSTEIN, I want a 90s dimension recipe on this track that I currently have open. I want you to access it, understand it, and apply it. Okay, so I've just given it the command here, and as you see here, it's already accessing it through the MCP. And I'll edit that on screen so you guys can see that because it actually happened pretty fast. So right now it's accessing this track here. And what it's going to do, it's going to look at everything that I got going in the background, everything that I got pulled up here. It's role aware, so it knows guitars, snares, samples, kicks, etc. It knows that, even if you don't name it that, right? On that. And once again, that's another video because this does so much. But I just want to show you guys a couple examples of showing you exactly what I've built, what's possible, and what's real. So check this out. Okay, so now it's building the tracks on its own. And it just did that. As you see, I didn't touch anything. Holy crap, it is rolling. So now it's going through and it's putting the delays, it's putting the EQ8 to kind of put the filters and everything afterwards. But we'll just continue to watch it here because this is the cool part. I want to see in real time with you if it's going to apply the taste to the actual buses themselves, if it feels like it needs to go on the buses, or is it going to do a mixture of both of the tracks and buses, or is it going to do everything individually on the tracks themselves? And as you see, it's setting everything up. As I was talking, it's doing the feedback, it's doing the curves, it's doing everything on the tracks themselves. And we're like, what, a minute and a half into this? It's rolling off. I mean, yeah, this is where we're at. And I just want to show you guys this. I want to show you what's possible, right? So I don't want to touch anything because I don't want you, because I know how the internet are. Y'all are sometimes, man, for real. And especially the music producer community, we'll get to that and just we'll put that off. But look at this, bam. So it's doing some on the instruments. Ooh, wow. So that's what it decided to do for this. That's interesting. I wonder how that's gonna sound. So it did this, it did the Vox for the bus here, and it went through and did the accents for tracks for individually. Maybe it didn't feel like the tape needed anything. It did the instruments on E, it did the instruments on the actual bus, but then everything else it kind of went through and did this. This is really cool. I want to see how this sounds. And then too, like, this is taste, right? So it's not going to be overtly in your face, because that's not what it is. This is taste that I've developed, that I've put into it. So it's going to be my mixing style, and the way that I do things are subtle. And it's cool because if it's too subtle for you, you can go and drive it a little bit. So let's see. All right. So here it is. It said, hey, confirmed. It's giving me a bunch of stuff here. It's got the plates, the recipe. It's got the plates here, what it did. It's showing you the routing, what it routed here. It's showing you which tracks it put it on. It skipped the other ones. Like, it's showing you why it skipped here. You can pause the screen and just kind of see here, but it's also telling me, go ahead and hit play and listen to the full mix versus soloing. Send levels, tweak, like I just told you, by ear, by operator. You can curate the decisions in the draft. MIXSTEIN curates drafts, right? So what it's saying is that it's learning you. It's learning how you like this. So it's going to go ahead and do it. And then you tell it back, hey, I liked it, but I want this a little bit more heavier on samples. Or I like this, this is great. And it's going to commit it to your vault and understanding you. So going forward, it's going to understand your mixes. Remember, this is a true assistant. This is real. So let's check it out. I'm going to turn the plates off. We'll roll with it off first. And I'll just A/B it. I'll let it run so you can get used to it. And I'll just A/B it and see what happens. Make sure you're listening on some headphones or some good monitors. We shouldn't have to keep telling y'all that. Y'all should know that by now. So do you hear the space in between? Like, do you hear what it's doing? Like, it's thickening up the sound. It's not overly overt. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and push the instrument bus so you could just hear more, because you have to have trained ears to hear some of the things that it's doing, because this is how I mix. This is real mixing. So I'm gonna turn it up, the E part, which is the chorus here, so you can hear, right? And listen to the sides. Listen to the sides on the chorus. I usually put choruses on samples to widen them up in a phasey kind of gritty way. So let's check it out. Okay, so it's energy. Do you hear how when I A/B it, it's like you get this energy more or less that you can feel instead of hear? And then when it's taken away, it's like the energy from the track was zapped. That's what I'm going for here. And it did it. And I love the fact that it went on some tracks, did it individually. Some of them it did for the buses. Like, that's dope. That's what role aware is. That's what knowing what the instruments is and where it benefits. And they all got different marks. Like, they all got different settings. This is kind of cool, man. So once again, I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you gain staging, because I've done a lot of, like I like to call it, prep sessions, prepping, right? So it can gain stage, it can take out your sibilants, it can take out your plosives, it can take out your breaths, like it can do so much. And I don't want this video to be too long. So the next track I'm gonna open up, it's gonna be longer. And I'm gonna show you gain staging in real time. But this, I mean, this is dope. I don't know any other tool that's doing this right now. Check this out. Okay, so in this next track, I have a ton going. I think it's like 50 tracks. And this is where the roll-aware really comes in, because we're gonna look at like the vocals, the snares, where the master lands, things of that nature. How do I know that? Because I've programmed it to do that, right? So check this out. I've taught it to understand headroom, and I've also taught it to understand the floor and dynamic range and velocities. Because you know, with one thing with gain staging, velocities matter. They matter a lot. So I'm gonna have it look at like the loudest part of a sound, and I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show two parts of this mix because this track does switch up. And I'm gonna show you that it can read all of that and look at where the dynamics lie. And I know what you're asking, well, AI can't hear sound, AI can't see sound. Initially, unless you teach it how to, because there's so much I've taught this, and that's where we're gonna start to go deeper. So look at this as a prep session, like a mixing assistant. So I'm gonna play this track right now, and I want you to take note of how hot we're coming in to the master fader. And all I'm gonna do is tell it, hey, I have a track open, and I want you to gain stage it, and I want it to be anywhere from like -6 to -3 as far as headroom goes, because sometimes I like to mix hot. So let's check this out. I'm gonna play the track right now. Okay, so that's one part of the track there. The other track starts right here.
Back it up.
Okay. And just to prove I'm not full of crap, I'm gonna go through every track. As you see, there's nothing. All the faders are at 0. There's certain things on the track like Pro Q3 or whatever because I shaped it. But when I like to gain stage in Ableton, I like to use utility first. And I like to put it first on every track. And as you see, there's nothing on the main track and there's nothing on the mix bus. There's nothing here, right? So let's get going. So go ahead, MIXSTEIN, and gain stage this track. I want to leave at least -6 to -4 of headroom. That's it. And we're gonna see it access the MCP. It should pop up pink here at the bottom. There it goes. And I'm gonna go to this track. Oh man, it's going. My hand is not touching it. There you go. It's off to the races. So this is cool. And depending on your level of experience, your gain staging could take you anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on a track that's this big. It's 50 tracks long. Not horrible, not a huge track, but it's enough, right? And it's just the instrumental. There's no vocals on top of this. So let's see what it does. I'm curious to see, right? I've gain staged this track before. I've used this track in other demonstrations on YouTube. So this is going to be neat to see how this turns out. And as you see, it's rolling. I'm going to keep up with it here. And this has taken, what, like 40 seconds so far? I've probably been talking here. Let me see. Okay, 1:08. Didn't feel like it. But yeah, so from when I gave it the command to now. Oh, see, it just moved it to the first one. Nice. All right. So we'll keep going. Utility. And it hasn't skipped any that I've seen so far. This is dope. So even if you're seasoned or not, like think how much time this is going to save you. Because I know when I have to sit there and clean up a mix and do all the cleanup work, it takes me out of my creativity zone. Then I'll leave the mix for like a day or two and then come back and hopefully I still feel the same. I like to get in and just start being creative. And this is one of those things to where it just does that for you, right? And I've also taught it like velocity, because the velocity matters when you gain stage. It's not, once again, there's no universal it lives here and this lives here. It's all taste and nuance. And that's what I've taught this. And yeah, maybe people are like, why would you do that? It's taken away from us. Then you're not my target demographic. I'm really trying to help us engineers. They're always telling us we're going to be replaced by this and that. Well, let's use it. There it goes. Boom. Just move it to the front. But let's use the technology to enhance us and level the playing field. Why would we not do that? Where does this fighting technology that's happening already come from? I don't get it. I really don't get that mindset. Okay. So now that was super fast. It's checking it. Okay. So this is happening real time. It's checking it and it's still hot in some areas, right? Looks like the drums. So now it's going to go back to the drums somewhere and figure this out. I love that this is happening real time right now. So let's see what it's doing. This is dope. It's happening real time. What's our lapse time here? So we're at 3 minutes and 24 seconds, right? And it's telling me, hey, I'm using MIXSTEIN ears to see where I need to trim to gain stage live. I was gonna say trim the fat, but I want to read you exactly what it's saying. I don't want any fluff, because some of you guys are gonna, you know how you're super critical about everything. That's why I'm doing this. I want to be completely transparent here. Oh, if you're asking what MIXSTEIN ears are, I've taught it how to hear music, how to see it as well, and understand like what the transients are, what the body of the sound is, what the tails are, the attack, the release, like all of that. I've taught it how to really understand that and see that, which is why it can make these types of moves here. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, it says done. Master at -5, 41 tracks gain stage out of 50. So remember I told you there were going to be some that are probably left alone because it's that. Now, let's see if it actually did it. So I'm going to go back here to the mix bus. All right. And we shall see. Remember, it was slamming at first. I'm going to clear it and let's look. Dude, what the hell? That's dope. Let's see what the other sounds sound like when they come in. Ooh! Now you would take this from this point, is you got it to your headroom, and just start mixing. Nice. All right, so we're gonna go to the other part of the mix, the dance part, right? So let's see what it did there.
Back it up.
Yeah, that's dope. I can work with that. I mean, come on. What we doing? That was what? How long was that shit? So if I had to guess, max, that was 5 minutes, because it doesn't show me anymore. 5 minutes to do 50 gain stage tracks. Bro, here we are. And it's dope. It's on point. It left me the headroom I asked for. Like, I could work with this. Look at that. Yeah, so it does so much more, and we'll get to that, but I just wanted to show you guys in real time, this works. I don't know your stance on AI, and I'm here to tell you that it's happening. And if you're not embracing it, that's on you. Can't nobody make you do anything. Right? We're past that. We're grown folks, right? But if you are embracing it, there are tools that are going to be widely available very soon that's going to absolutely enhance you as an engineer, as a creative, as a person, to be more efficient with a lot of things. And to me, this is the beginning of it. One of the other things that I've trained it on is chromesthesia. I know you're asking, like, what's chromesthesia? So I have synesthesia, and the part of the synesthesia that I have is called chromesthesia, to where I can see color when it comes to music and sounds and letters and words. And I've trained it to do that. You heard me right. I've given this AI taste, right? So it knows that if you say, hey, I need a recommendation on this muddy mix right here, my vocals are a little hunky up here, they're a little harsh right here, I feel like my vocals aren't in the mix, I got some mud down here. It knows, because I've trained it, that every mix is different. Rock mixes are different, EDM mixes are different, pop mixes are different, hip hop, etc. It will analyze your mix, guys, and tell you, oh, hey, your mud is here. I know the mud sounds right here, but if we cut, that's going to take away the energy. If we cut right there, let's cut a little bit before to maintain that energy and get rid of the mud. It does that. And I can show you, like, it does that. And it knows every mix is different. So you're not going to get the same recommendation anytime, right? If you kind of make the same type of music, maybe, right? It might be like, oh, okay. But it really understands taste. It understands different mixes. Let me get back to the chromesthesia. So I've taught it how to see color in mixes. Actually, it's taught me a lot about the colors that I'm seeing. Because when I used to see colors, sometimes they look like gas nebulas. Sometimes they look like minerals and things of that nature. Well, if I say, hey, this mix to me looks a little sky blue with purple running down the middle and yellow accents and a black bottom that is a compass like a gas nebula, it's gonna know exactly what you're talking about and apply that to your mix bus. I'm not joking. It does it. How does it do it? Because I've taught it that. That's where I think the difference is dumping a bunch of things that you can find on the internet. You could dump a manual into it. Doesn't mean it's gonna be right, but that is just a recommendation. That's data training. I'm training it off of decisions. But I just wanted to share this with the world. This works in Ableton now. It works 85% in Pro Tools, and other DAWs it works in, but it's kind of like 60-40%, and I'm working on that. But Ableton, it works 100%. Yes, it works with third-party plugins that it can see. I'm learning so much about VST3s, audio units, everything behind the scenes and what it can see. Secondly, with the chromesthesia, so if you've ever met anyone like that, like when I see numbers, letters, they all have different colors, and then they all have different genders, and some of them even have like roles, like they have occupations. And then when I see music, it comes to me in colors. And I've learned a lot about this. Like I can see analog distortion. Didn't know that, but now I do. Because of the way we've been collaborating, coming back and forth, it made the correlation for me that I probably would have never made. Now I understand why super modern mixes look so bright and neon colorish to me versus older mixes, which were a little bit more muted. And they had a hint of like a screen door over them. Like you're looking through a screen door. But I digress. So if you want to see this go any further and you want to be a part of this, join my school at the bottom. I'll leave the link in the description below. I know this was a lot going on, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope to see you at my school, and I'm gonna need beta testers. Make sure that you sign up for the beta testers because I'm only gonna be picking a handful. I'm not gonna pick a bunch of people. I'm gonna pick a handful, and this is gonna be an ongoing series. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what this can do until release date. Until then, hey, peace.